By 2030, nearly half of American women are projected to be single and childless, and yet they've never had more access to men. Dating apps, social media, and the internet gave women an unlimited supply of male attention. In theory, finding love should be easier than ever. But here's the paradox. The more options women got, the less satisfied they became. They say there are no good men left, while swiping through thousands of them. Here's just a sample of the problem.
How is it that I just went through over 50 matches on Hinge? Like, literally, it said 50 plus. I'm pretty sure there were like 70 matches. I X'd every single one except for two. And like, mind you, my friends, they always joke, they're like, Grace, you give people like the benefit of the doubt that like don't deserve it. Like, I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I matched with two people. Now I understand why girls are so disheartened by dating, especially in New York City. Like, this is wild.
In this video, we're going to expose how the very thing that was supposed to make dating easier has broken it altogether. How dating apps didn't just change modern romance, they rewired women's psychology and created a delusion so powerful it ensures they will never find love. And I'm going to show you the exact behavior in women's own words that proves it. Here's a sneak peek of just some delusional expectations.
Number one is that you need to be making at least 130K a year. And you need to have at least two side hustles. If you cannot make 130K or more, then you are out of my league. How do you expect to give me money for my kids if you only make 50K a year? You have to have at least 3 cars under your name. Your second car has to have 8 seats because I have 3 kids. Oh, I want them to be comfortable whenever we go with you on a trip or something. You want me to come with you? I'm gonna bring my kids, and you need to have enough space for my kids. So that's why I require you to have an SUV and a vehicle of your own if you're gonna be dating me. Another requirement is that you have to have a property under your name, and you have to be looking into getting your second property. Have to get a home that has 6 rooms because each of my kids have to be in their own room.
How have we gotten to a stage where a woman of average looks, carrying the baggage of multiple children from another man, can still make outrageous minimum demands? Social media and dating apps created these levels of inflated expectations. Women have always aimed for the best partner they could secure. That instinct never changed. What did change were the boundaries around it. For most of history, hypergamy was restricted by geography, by practicality, and by social class. A woman's dating pool was the men she physically encountered: her village, her town, her workplace, her church. Beyond that, the chances of meeting someone, let alone pairing with them, were close to zero. Class and status made the ceiling even lower. A woman from a poor family wasn't marrying into the elite. A merchant's daughter wasn't stepping into the royal court. Your position in society largely dictated the level of man you could realistically attract. Hypergamy existed, but it was tethered to circumstance. The pool was small and expectations stayed realistic. Then, everything changed. Dating apps and social media ripped those boundaries away. Suddenly, hypergamy wasn't confined to who you met in your town or who your family knew. It became a global marketplace with no ceiling and no filter. A woman in a small city could match with a millionaire in New York. A college student could be in the DMs of an athlete, a musician, or a CEO. The theoretical and practical limits disappeared. And once she's even had a brief encounter at that level, her standard shifts upward. In her mind, if she touched it once, she can reach it again. And it never stops there, because in her mind, no matter how high she climbs, there's always the dream of someone better one swipe away. This is the new paradigm. Hypergamy unchained. No restrictions, no grounding in reality. Just the delusion that the most perfect man in the world is always within reach. And that delusion is the first crack in modern dating. When dating apps unlocked a seemingly endless supply of male suitors, it didn't just expand women's choices, it rewired the whole system. Finding a partner stopped being the goal. The new currency became attention. And attention has always been a woman's fuel. She thrives on it the way a man thrives on sex. It's what makes her feel desired, valuable, and alive. And now that supply is unlimited. Why settle for the attention of one man when she can open an app, swipe a few times, and get it from 100?
I have used men to make me feel good about myself. That's
like dating apps or like
Oh, I love dating apps. Hinge, Tinder, I love them all.
what's your experience like? Do you go there for attention or like actually go there just to find someone?
So I actually don't like anybody I find on the apps, but I like the validation for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So you go there just for validation.
It makes me feel better about myself, low-key.
What is the thing with women and validation from men? What's the thing with that?
It makes you feel so good about yourself, and it makes you like grow as a person and feel more confident. Like, yeah, like the basis of feeling good about yourself is a man's validation, but from that you can grow and become better as a person.
That's the reality in plain words. The apps aren't about finding love, they're about validation. And the consequence is simple. Intimacy stops mattering. A single compliment from a stranger delivers the same dopamine hit as genuine connection. Many women open these apps intending to find love, but once they're flooded with unlimited attention, the pull to choose one man fades away, and the real purpose reveals itself. The apps exist to feed validation, even when women insist they're there for love. The shift to validation collides with something even more destructive. The illusion of unlimited availability feeds directly into the attention economy. Hypergamy without limits combined with the constant flood of validation resets how women see themselves. Their egos inflate, their sense of value becomes distorted, and reality no longer applies. Dating apps and social media convince them there is no ceiling to what they can demand. All they have to do is declare their standards, and they believe what they think they're worth will simply appear. But this is where the problem begins. The mind shifts into creating a shopping list of what she wants in a man, because now she's convinced he's out there. Standards and expectations get drawn up like a custom order, as if she's a child in a candy store with a no-limit credit card.
I'm 19 years old. I've never had a boyfriend, but what I do have is a 30-page list full of qualifications and standards said person has to meet.
This is where it starts. Before dating experience even begins, the requirements are already mapped out in absurd detail.
I saw this girl on TikTok saying that she found her husband, her baby daddy on Hinge. Of course, I had to hop on Hinge. Yes, I'm on Hinge, whatever. And truly, like, I haven't gone on any dates on Hinge. I'm just there for, like, the attention, I guess. I don't know. I haven't found anything that I like. But there was this one man that I was like, literal perfection. So I swiped and saw his height that said 5'9". Oh, on to the next man.
And this is how it plays out. She admits she's found literally perfection and then rejects him over 1 or 2 inches of height.
One of my best friends started dating a guy. He's awesome. And she actually told me she wrote a list of the things that she wanted in a guy to kind of like keep an eye out and manifest it. So I made a list.
And here's the culmination, laid out in excruciating detail. A list so specific it reads like the blueprint of a custom architect-built house or a car with optional features and add-ons. Just look at it. Funny, big arms, good cuddles, a cool job, likes to try new things, grounding, sweet, plans adventures, communicates calmly, cares about health, likes game night. Each line another specification she expects one man to deliver. But relationships don't work like that. You can't custom select features and expect a man to appear with every box ticked. But from there, the standards list becomes the filter. Anyone who doesn't measure up gets cut.
If you're in a big city and you're a good-looking girl, you are spoiled for choice. You almost need a way to filter people out. That should be your first one.
The filtering is so strict that a man has to meet at least 80% of her list just to be considered.
You can't tell women to lower their expectations, but this is the reality. When you ask a man if you could have a woman who had 80% of everything you wanted, 75% say, yeah, I'm on board. Mm-hmm. When you say to a woman, a man has 80% of what you want, 75% say that's not enough.
That's the split. Men are content with a partner who gives them most of what they want. Women call that settling, because they believe the perfect match is still out there. And this is exactly why in that earlier clip where the woman had 70 matches, she discarded all but 2. She's holding men up against a fantasy standards list, and unless he clears 80% of it, he's gone. But then it gets deeper. When she eventually finds a man that might meet her standards and goes on a date with him, she finds additional things she doesn't like. This is what women call their ick list, a growing catalog of turn-offs or supposed deal breakers.
Absolutely no one asked, but here's a list of random icks that I came up with last night when I was laying in my bed. First, when a guy has huge feet/shoes. I know some people like that. It's an ick. If I look at your feet and I'm immediately like clown feet, I'm sorry. I know that we can't control the size of our feet, but ick. Immediate fucking ick. Especially if their legs are also skinny and they have skinny calves. I'm sorry, no. Like if your shoe size is above a 12, ick. I'm really sorry because I can't control my icks, okay?
I get the ick so fucking quickly. Like if you are not obsessed, if you're not obsessed with me, I don't want it. I'm immediately not interested.
I fear I have just unlocked a new ick. Men who unsend messages.
I just made a list of my insane icks because sometimes there are things that guys do that I just cannot get past at all. Like these are deal breakers. I thought I would share because also these are just low-key red flags.
This one might be a hot take. Loves going out. Listen, sometimes I'm in the mood to go out, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But the people who like make it their personality to love going out, I don't know about you. Skinny jeans. I'm not explaining.
If these sound juvenile, it's because they are. And the more dates she goes on, the more this list grows, because she continues to find additional things she doesn't like. The tragedy is that when you combine the fantasy standards list with a superficial ick list, the result is that almost every man gets filtered out. Women who live by these behaviors set the game up of love in a way that almost guarantees failure. By their 30s, if they've not found a life partner, many begin to question their own choices. And that's when their friends step in to make sure they never win.
This is the piece of advice that I share with all of my friends who are single. I'm 33, so a lot of my friends are in our 30s. And if they're single, they feel like, what's wrong with me? I'm behind. Why can't I find someone? My clock is ticking, etc., etc. And I always look at them and I shake my head and I say, I think you're forgetting who you are. You could go date any guy, but you're not the girl who's just going to go date any guy. You have standards, you have dreams, you have visions that you want for your life. You bring so much to the table that you can't just go be with anyone that you just pluck off the street. And I think a lot of my friends look at themselves and like blame themselves when in reality, they just need a guy that's going to match them.
And the mantra behind it all is simple. Don't settle, there's always better. Even when compromise could lead to something real, they're talked out of it. And if the perfect man doesn't appear, the advice is always the same.
Everything changes when you are willing to wait for a man who meets your standards, no questions.
But waiting doesn't change reality. It only drags out the illusion. The longer the cycle continues, the more exhausted women become. Swiping, matching, rejecting, it's endless. And exhaustion kills investment. Nobody has the energy or desire left to actually build connection. Because the focus isn't on bonding, it's on standards. Every date becomes a checklist exercise, another round of searching for flaws. And when your attention is consumed by standards, you never give yourself the space to feel anything real for the person in front of you.
I decided last night to re-download Hinge, and I don't know why I think this is a good idea. It never is. But apparently I was bored and needed attention maybe. I don't know. But they're all the same people. It's still the same people. And they're all resending me like whatever matches. I don't match with any of them because there's a reason that it didn't work out the first time, right? Like what is wrong with me? My theory on why online dating doesn't work is because when you're doing online dating, the people are just objects. Like you're able to just kind of scroll through them and see them as objects. And I think a lot of times women are already seen as objects. So then it's even worse when you're just this like two-dimensional photo that they can just kind of pick apart. But also like, where do you meet people? But I don't even really know if I want to meet anybody because, ew.
This is what that exhaustion produces. And once exhaustion sets in, the whole point of dating is lost. There's no investment anymore, Because when you're preoccupied with checking boxes, you stop paying attention to who the person actually is. You never tap into the emotional side of yourself that makes bonding possible. You can't feel anything real when you're fixated on whether he wore the right shirt.
I think a huge reason that modern dating culture is so unpleasant is that unless you have your hooks in, unless one party is at least a bit in love, nothing is going to happen. Because being in love is what allows you to transgress the societal rules around shame. It allows you to look indifference in the eye and just hit it with your desperate partiality. The finality of a haha yeah can end a modern talking stage. If you're indifferent to someone, you're probably not going to double text them. It takes a level of care, and that's why I said one party has to be a bit in love, because if you're in love enough, you will respond to a haha yeah. If you're in love enough, you'll send a haha yeah and be like, oh my god, wait, like I need to say something else. Obviously, dating apps perpetuate this culture of easily discarding people. Like, you're literally on there discarding people, but it doesn't even stop there, because even if you match with someone, you could go on 2 dates, haha yeah each other, and then they're also discarded. Someone literally needs to give you something that no one else can give you in order for them to not actually be replaceable and easily discarded.
And the final stage is indifference. Nobody invests because the process itself has replaced connection. A single dry reply is enough to end things, not because someone better is waiting, but because there was never any emotional energy invested in the first place. If you're a man in this dating world struggling to get regular dates or to find connections with women who will actually stick around, remember this: the problem isn't you. The system is broken, and it's broken on the women's side, built on fantasies no real man can ever fulfill. By giving women an unlimited supply of both attention and options, dating apps and social media have sabotaged everyone. Instead of building love, they've become fixated on new priorities: standards, validation, and endless filtering. This is why by 2030 so many women will be single, not by accident, but because dating apps and social media rewired them to believe they could have it all. And when that day comes, when reality finally hits, they won't reflect. They'll double down, insisting their standards were always deserved. And that's when you'll hear the same question echo again: where have all the good men gone? If you found this video insightful, you might like another one on a similar topic. Click on the thumbnail to watch or keep exploring. Also, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel.